155K viewers are watching Candace Owens say nothing.
So that people would wake up. And I do think that it catalyzed an awakening here. And these are risks that I also feel missionally I have to take.
Turning Point has been keeping a big secret. Did Charlie know about it?
Because there won't be a tomorrow for our children. I sense that dread, and I hate to communicate that to you. I always try to be
Let's talk about the real shit like this. This is the real shit.
I feel it too. So, yeah. There's a lot that is a lot.
Which is the fakest, dumbest shit of all time, but it doesn't matter. That's what Americans respond to, it seems, in the realm of politics.
Kirk will issue a statement, I think, in this new capacity, CEO and chairman, that we deserve an answer about that check, that phone call.
Who killed Charlie Kirk now? I think it was the French Legionnaires or something, right? And now, who is it now? Was it J.D. Vance?
My sources were pretty solid on that, and I am just kind of trying to digest the devastation of it all.
For the record, if you don't watch this right now, you're going to hear about this from your coworkers anyway, so you might as well develop talking points against it before they kidnap you near the water cooler and hit you with like the latest and greatest from Candace Owens.
Head to the book club as we continue this conversation about Sigmund Freud and the Jewish mystical tradition, and which correlates directly with what's going on today. Kind of a war that happened and nobody really knows what was going on in Europe. This book is really important. So yeah, you can now gift a membership if you'd like to. We are kind of running out of time here, but I'm going to read the top comment from yesterday's episode. It says, "It's crazy to me that Candace is doing her own research on her own assassination plot. Meanwhile, uncovering things in our government that are hidden in plain sight. We need to wake up, America."
Oh my God.
Not just America, world. The world needs to wake up. And
the world needs to wake up to the Candace Owens assassination plot.
The devil makes, but in overplaying his hand was publicly executing Charlie, because it stirred something inside of all of us who still have goodness, inside of all of us who will say no to money, inside those of us who would rather be sued than to acquiesce to evil. I think it made us realize that we have to be soldiers for God. If they're going to be soldiers for darkness, then we have to be soldiers for light. Let me see if I can read a couple of these comments before we go off here. Wow, that's a huge donation that was made by Laughing Cats Music World.
Wow. Pierre DuPont? Yes. Okay. Project Constitution. Explosive bombshell. Candace Owens connects Charlie Kirk's assassination to $1 billion DuPont deal. Turning Point USA's insiders implicated. She's now publicly naming the mysterious French-American billionaire donor that multiple Turning Point USA insiders swear got an immediate phone call from leadership the minute Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The name, Pierre DuPont. Yes, that DuPont family. According to 6+ separate TPUSA sources, a massive secret deal was on the table. Not millions, potentially billions tied to an upcoming IPO. Only a tiny handful of people even knew it existed. The second Charlie was gone, someone allegedly called his donor prospect to, what? Reassure, renegotiate, celebrate. Candace says she forgot the name at first because she was traumatized and drowning in tips right after the assassination. But when she said Pierre DuPont yesterday's show, her sources flooded her inbox. You figured it out. It's Pierre DuPont. But now she's asking publicly, did Charlie Kirk turn down this money? Was DuPont deal the big money he famously said no to? Why was the Turning Point USA's spokesperson allegedly telling Charlie lost out on millions by saying no to Bibi? And how would the PR team even get a cut? This is starting to feel like a John Grisham novel written by Satan himself. We deserve answers. Who called Pierre DuPont the second Charlie Kirk was dead, and why? Wow. Yeah, Candace loves to suggest that people murdered Charlie Kirk without actually saying it. Excited to learn more about this Israel Frankist French Foreign Legion op. Well, it turns out it was Pierre DuPont.
Keep fighting the good fight. Snowy writes, integrity, courage, intelligence, articulate, as beautiful inside and as outside. Candace Owens. From
I love this shit. I love this shit. Let the people have fun, bro. None of it matters anymore. People are just not believing. People could look at a situation. People could look at a situation that happened in broad daylight to themselves and still be like, what is Candace Owens' take on this? Does this somehow tie back to like her own personal gripes and grievances? Who knows? I believe her.
They helped us win our big independence from the big bad Brits. And then what? Yesterday,
Remember, it's the French because she's beefing with the French government, because she's beefing with Macron, because she falsely suggested the dumbest thing of all time, which is that Emmanuel Macron's wife is actually a man and that she is a transgender man or a trans woman, rather.
And it's actually a riddle that we're all familiar with. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Chicken or the egg? That's what's on my mind. That's what's on my mind really all day, because yesterday we were explaining to you guys this sort of random coincidence, maybe not a coincidence, of the FBI seemingly choosing to work in offices that are kind of being run by like French royalty in essence, right? These old French Americans.
Are you going to mention the DuPont Epstein connections? And right on the dot. Yeah. Epstein Israel, Epstein DuPont, Epstein Donald Trump. These connections all exist. Okay? I don't know, bro. I'm just making shit up. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't have anything to do with Charlie Kirk. You can, by the way, you're saying you just made shit up, but you can literally point to any wealthy person and say Epstein, and there is a connection there. It's just a matter of whether or not. I like that you also arrived at this conclusion by just simply throwing darts at a board, and it's not even incorrect. But the point is, how does that tie to Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck? I mean, was tapped in with Noam Chomsky. What are we talking about?
Families. Now, why would our FBI do that? Surely they would have been aware that they were choosing to work in buildings that might potentially have some foreign interests. But then you know what? It clicked. The chicken came before the egg. Of course, don't be ridiculous. That's the answer to the riddle. LOL to the American history that's taught to us in the public schools. The French helped to establish the United States. They came over and they helped us win our big independence from the big bad Brits. And then what? They just left us alone. It was just an act of charity. Like, we're good. We want nothing in return. We just want you guys to be free. Does that make sense to you?
Wait, is she doing the Jews actually like changed our history books to make us care about Israel, but for France now? Are the French the real Jews? How far does this rabbit hole go? Oh my God. You aren't allowed to say that? That's right. You wouldn't want me saying that. You wouldn't want me cracking the real conspiracy. It wasn't the Jews controlling the media all along. It was the French. I like that that's her pivot, by the way. Like, this is literally she went from Jews control the media and you know, the banking institutions to the French. That's awesome.
Turns out actually in theory, the FBI
Oh my God. Oh my God. French connection. French connection. French connection. Sacre bleu. The French are coming after me. It's because I'm so close. I'm so close to the truth, but also so close to France in proximity. Oh no. That's what it is. Merde. Le Interpol. Dude. When the internet cut out, she said something very funny. We got to run it back. Hold on.
Turning in return, we just want you guys to be free. Does that make sense to you? Come on. Turns out actually, and you may have known this, maybe I'm just American ignorant, but our FBI was founded by the French. In theory, the FBI really is in France's building over in Wilmington, if you think about it, for a long time. And I have been thinking about this for a long time. So welcome back to Candace.
What? She's saying that America is not Zog, but fog. Francophone occupied government. Oh my God. Oh my God. Truth nuke. She's the new Alex Jones. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people thought it was a Federal Bureau of Investigation, but it was actually French Bureau of Investigation. Wait until she finds out that the Statue of Liberty is a French robot spy. Oh my God. Oh, you just gave Candace Owens her next 200,000 live concurrent viewer YouTube video. The Statue of Liberty, let's talk about it. Also trans, just like Emmanuel Macron's husband, wife. I'll say it. And guess what? They can't sue me because it's not a real person. It's a statue. What is this intro? Oh, there she is marrying her gay husband. Are you supposed to read any of these comments, dude? Very carefully.
I actually want to begin this episode with a comment from yesterday's episode because, you know, we ran that poll wondering whether or not the public agreed with me about my lawsuit, me being filed by Brigitte Macron, me being sued by Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron, and whether or not it was just one big federal setup meant to bankrupt me.
This is literally where she's coming from, by the way. This is it. This is where she's coming from. This is the reason why she's doing this. The reason why she's doing this shit. This is the reason why she's doing the whole like French Connection shit. Because she's getting sued. She's getting sued by Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron's Emmanuel Macron, I was about to say husband, Emmanuel Macron's wife, because she said falsely that Emmanuel Macron's wife is a trans woman, assigned male at birth. That's the reason why she keeps bringing up France, bro.
And here is an answer that we got in the comment section. Look at this. I believe that the purpose of Macron's lawsuit was that it was supposed to go nowhere because Candace was supposed to have been assassinated.
Dude, what the is this is so sick. Dude, this is just like a random YouTube comment, man. Like, what do you do? You're doing commentary off of random YouTube comments? What the is this what she means when she says like I have sources? The sources are just like random person on YouTube in her audience that responded to her or some shit. Bro, that's what you do. You have to have the most severe brain disease. My sources aren't you dipshits. There's a difference between me responding to a dumbass comment, sometimes like this one, versus her acting as though this is like new information. When she goes, oh, I got verified sources that confirm my suspicions, it turns out her verified sources are just random people in her comment section on YouTube.
Before the case got to court. Then they could forever claim that Candace was lying, which is evident by the fact that they were suing her for quote unquote defamation before someone had killed her. This was their plan, but I pray that it has now been foiled. I had never considered that, and that hit really deeply, and that is a dark thought. And I think now I'm wondering, I have a lot of questions. Everything feels different in this post-Charlie Kirk world. Where to begin? How about we should talk about the founding of America? Because, man, those Catholic priests that I was telling you about, they were unbelievably correct. I told you guys a long time ago how when I was considering whether or not I should be Orthodox or Catholic, but I knew that I was sort of done with Protestantism, I had been taking instruction from these priests in Europe and in the UK, and one of the fathers is a real bookworm, right? Kind of this cantankerous Englishman, no time for the American education system whatsoever. And he said to me quite famously, you Americans know nothing of your own history. your country was founded by Freemasons. And that just kind of permanently now echoes in my ear because boy, was he right. A war that had been sort of waging across Europe for centuries had then spilled into America. It was largely a spiritual war. It was really a theological war. That's what I'm starting to realize. That's why America never really had an appetite for Orthodox or Catholicism, because the Catholics and the Orthodox have...
I think it's pretty crazy how mentally ill we must have become. If there is like a not insignificant number of people that are like demanding, nay, craving this kind of conspiracy theory. We are so cooked. We are so goddamn cooked, bro. It's so over. It's so jover. I need the insane right-wing old QAnon women to say crazy shit about my French last name. Please let this stick. I wish people were intelligent enough to treat her like a content creator, not a serious political commentator. She's farming views for her lawsuit, and people are consuming it like it's real news. Do you think she believes any of it? I don't know. I don't think it matters. I think what matters is this is what the Amerifats crave, okay? Amerifats want this. Amerifats want this, and Amerifats want like Ethan Klein versus Casey Tron settlement court proceedings narrated by Asmongold going, yeah, based. It's true. Like at a certain point, you got to realize like Amerifats need this shit. This is what they want. If you're a real ball knower, you got to recognize that. And just like even with Israel, Amerifats don't want to hear someone go, here is why you must be anti-Israel from an anti-imperialist position. Lame, boring, talk about the Jews. That's what the Amerifat mind craves. And I think it's not just the hogs. It's even like the so-called critical thinkers of the internet, the Redditors of the internet. They also want a different version of the same kind of treat. There's just no world where we arrive at any sort of consensus truth any longer. You know, some people bludgeon their brains with drama slop nonsense. Others go into the conspiracy side. Others go to tried and true techniques of blaming, minority populations. That's it. Yes, there is. Pump education and regulate. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening at all. It's never going to happen. You need systemic change to be able to implement. You need serious governance to implement systemic change like that. And not only do you need some sincere governing, it still will take time. It's going to take a long ass time to get there too. And that shit's not happening with Donald Trump in office. Candace is Alex Jones for the Joe Rogan audience's wives. I mean, I think not just for the Joe Rogan audience's wives, but for the Joe Rogan audience in general. The Templars are after Candace. She must follow the Assassin's Creed. I agree. I think the truth could hit someone directly in the fucking face, and these guys would still look for a grand conspiratorial narrative. Like, even if it immediately impacted them, even if they personally experienced it, they would want a conspiratorial narrative.
History. They know what was going on in Europe, not the fake history that's packed.
After all, America is the only country on the planet, as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong, that had a school shooting, a high-profile school shooting take place in Parkland, and one of the fathers of the victims believed sincerely that it was actually a psyop. You can't, like, that level of brain rot can only happen in the United States of America. Like, people who personally experience pain can still fall for random onlookers and opportunists of the conspiracy theories that they cultivate around an issue where you were personally victimized. I think there is a real QAnonification of American politics happening in every direction. And a lot of people think liberals will be spared from this, but I've been, paying close attention to the liberal circuit as well. And they have their own versions of this stuff. They believe that like the election was stolen. If you recall, in the aftermath of the election, a lot of liberals started rushing to the identical narratives of the Republicans where they were like, well, what about Starlink? There is a blue anon out there as well. Yeah. I'm a Parkland shooting survivor. QAnon convinced my dad it was all a hoax. You should make a debunking video of Sahar TV. What the fuck is Sahar TV? What the fuck is that? Debunk it? You don't want to know? What, is it another sloppy toppy slop tuber? Oh my God. Every other week I'm learning about every other week I have to learn about another name of another sloppy toppy hater slop tuber channel. Oh my Lord. Ugh. Slop tuber, but Middle Eastern. Oh, I love that. Middle Eastern slop tuber. Yeah. As a Middle Easterner, I think Hasan's Hamas support is really damaging to the cause. I'm Middle Eastern after all. Clearly I'm Middle Eastern after all. Clearly I'm a real pro-Palestinian guy, unlike Hasan, who's actually damaging the cause. Is that it? Did I nail it? Did I nail it? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe he took a different angle. Slop tuber, but low-key the slop is fire. No, it's never fire. He's pro-Israel and anti-Islam. One video on you from 7 months ago, and yes, just as you described, Palestine was the critique 5 months ago. Yo, did you see Casey's apology? I did not. What brings the gentleman to Ireland? I'm receiving an award, a recognition from Trinity College, who very clearly hasn't seen the endless amount of slop tuber and Redditor angst. Don't watch it live. I'm not gonna watch it at all. Why would I watch it? I'm just happy that she's no longer has to deal with this nonsense. I think you guys genuinely are confused with like what I do when I'm not live. I watch TV shows, man. You think I tune out of this shit, and then as soon as I'm offline, I'm like, oh, time to go watch all my slop. Can't wait to see all the slop I missed out on. They had to throw you under the bus? Yeah, I know, I heard. Great. Awesome. Dope. Our man's mission is to someday finish One Piece. Yeah, you don't watch your own streams? No, I don't. But you do. It seems. I got it though. I got the joke. Like you're saying, like you don't want your own streams because you're a slop tuber. I know. I am staying in a hotel. He said yes. Thanks, Shatter. It wasn't. You're not as brilliant as you think you are. This wasn't a great gotcha. If the choice between getting sued into homelessness and reading a script, read the script. The real homies will understand. Guys, 100%. It's not even a question. He owned you. Gonna watch them now? Oh no, it's over for me. All right.
Sold to Americans.
We're learning about how the French government has literally had America in a chokehold since 1776. And some of you are not locking in. Okay? I need you to lock in.
What the Freemasons were up to. Freemasons who caused all of those revolutions against really the Christian empire across Europe. The idea really, I now think, is keep Americans fat and dumb and drugged and propagandized, right? And then when we need to, use their men to mass murder other Christians overseas. That's the big picture that I'm beginning to see. All of this to say, did you know that our FBI was founded by Charles Joseph Bonaparte? I had no idea. I hate to be American ignorant, but I had no idea. And yes, that man was the founder. And yes, that is like Napoleon Bonaparte.
I'm not picking my face and looking at it. I'm pulling beard hairs that are ingrown, or at least trying to. And actually successfully pulling some.
His grandfather, Charles's grandfather, was Napoleon Bonaparte's brother. Was his great uncle. Napoleon Bonaparte was his great uncle, which makes it kind of hilarious, right? Because our tip yesterday from that person in Wilmington, Delaware, was asserting that the FBI had these offices, these kind of hidden offices, maybe kind of in buildings that appear to be in part controlled by French-American families who might have some conflicted interests. Particularly, we were discussing the DuPont family, right? Mentioning the DuPont family led to a flurry of tips coming out of Delaware. It was incredible.
Okay, we saw the rest of this. It's awesome. When are we going to get more info on the Tennessee race, chatters? Hey, at least she's not talking about the Jews for 5 seconds. No, she's moved on from the Jews to the French. She's saying the French are the real Jews. The real lost tribe was the French. It's not Zog, it's Fog. French occupied government.